Hi everyone. We weren't too late starting, so it's really great to have Jonathan Pens and Pen Blades with me. Naked Sean, as always, he's a fixture, which is great. And you may have seen Sean recently on the Lost Boys live show, and if you didn't, well, why not? And it's well worth a watch. I wasn't able to watch it on Friday night, but I caught up with it today. A great show about arthritis, which I think it's an illness that a lot of people don't recognize. And then what was the other? Was it case-itis as well? There seemed to be a few other ones that came out.
With the case, was it? I think it was case of BTs, was it?
Case of BTs. That was it. And maybe was it buckitis or something similar? Yes.
I'll be careful how I say that one. It was, There were several. We had frontieritis, I think, was one.
Oh, frontieritis. That was it. So, good to have a few people in the chat already. Let's just do a quick hello just before we get going. So, Tiffers, good to have you here. You were the first one in the chat. Then Nige and Slippy, great to have you here. Slippy's one of our moderators as well. And I did see Sean watch City Knives as well. That's great to have you there. And Scott Two Blades. And Marco. Hi, Marco. And Robin Grant. I'm hoping to get Robin on the show in a couple of weeks. So that would be great. Joseph McDonald as well. Greetings. Excellent. Great start. So this evening's topic will be pen knives and gentleman's knives. I thought that fitted in well with Jonathan's pens and pen blades. And it's always good. And I have a few more now, but we can have a bit of a discussion about what a pen knife is and what a gentleman's knife is. So just before we get started, so Jonathan, do you want to, should we do a pocket check with you?
Sure. All right. Well, let's start with the pen. Zebra F701. It's a ballpoint pen. Click action. Stainless steel construction. And then one of the knives I'm carrying is this. It is from the traveling box of knives that North Star Knife Review sent out. And this is I believe it's the San Remu 1161.
That looks like quite a big boy, that one, yeah?
Yeah, it's about 5.5 inches. Not 5.5, 3.5. 14C28N blade steel. And also have this Sheffield pen knife that was a gift from Slipjoint Sawyer, which I will probably show a little bit later on in the show. It's just a nice slim stainless steel blades and stainless steel
very
handle.
Nice.
Then also have a Hank that was from MJ Hoods. And of course, pocket notebook with a cover made by EDC Leatherworks, Randy Georgia Adventurer. And got a flashlight or torch, as you guys call them. This is the Olight i3. It's the i3T. Yeah, i3T2 in the Phoenix Dragon. What would you call that look?
Yeah.
And a pocket cross from Clark's Kentucky Knives. And I think that's it.
That's cool.
Oh,
thanks.
And of course, watch.
Yeah. What watch are you rocking today?
It's a Pulsar. I don't know I'll take it off maybe. I am not a watch guy at all, so I have no clue where if I can pull it up, maybe someone in the chat can make it. You can't really see it on the camera. But it's just a Pulsar dress watch.
Ah, cool. That's great. And have you got a drink just to keep you lubricated?
Yep. Got just a decaf coffee.
Cool. That's great. Thanks, Jonathan. And Sean, how about you?
I'm lubed.
Well
and true. I've got a coffee here just to keep me perky. Today's curry So I've been carrying the new club knife, the Paddy Potato Peelers tackler.
It's funny you should
Just
say
about
that.
to see the tang stamp. Great, really impressed with how this tang stamp's come out. It's fantastic. Pleased for the guys. A lot of sort of planning and effort gone into getting this organised, and it's really come out really well. So yeah, great stuff. Also carrying a pen. It's the new Olight, the new Model 1, Mini 2, I believe. And it's the one with the, it's got a pencil lead, which you can replace in the tip there.
Yeah.
As well. And same torch, flashlight, Jonathan, but obviously just in a different colour. A bit low light. So that's been on my belt. In my pocket, just because I can, and just because it's, you know, why the hell not? I've had the Arthurite, Ashley Harrison, even talking about arthritis. Ashley Harrison Trapper in Namibian Ironwood, and that's been in one of these little slips that Lynn makes. And in the other pocket, again, really just because why not? This is an Arthurite Barlow in stag.
Excellent. Very nice.
So, yeah.
That's cool. Thanks, Sean. I just go through mine now. Most of the weekend, I've been carrying this Bokeh Plus Naturen Sona, which I think is a great knife. I think I might have showed it last time, but it's got a cracking pair of pliers. It's very much like Victorinox. The pliers are very similar, but I think they've got a better spring, and it's got a very similar saw as well. But the thing that makes it different are the tweezers, which are, you know, virtually full size. So I've been carrying this for most of the weekend. Oh, and then something appeared in my letterbox. Now I don't know when it was, and I was a bit miffed yesterday because it hadn't come, but I think it probably came in the late post yesterday, and I just missed it. My sort of post box is outside the house, so I checked it this evening and found this fantastic knife. So the same as Sean has shown with the PPP tang stamp. We can get that in, and the grind on this is I've seen a couple of messages saying that the grind's been a little bit off on a couple, but it's really good on this side, and there's a tiny bit just near the end here which I can touch up really easily. So but it's really nice, and I like it that I can open it. I can open it with a pinch grip, but it's not soft at all, and it's got a fearsome snap as well. And of course, it fits perfectly into my PPP griff slip. So that's been in my pocket, but only for about the last hour since I found it. And then along with that, I've gone back to my Wooburn flashlight, and and this is the one that has different colors and stuff. But so I've been carrying that. Similarly, a notebook. So this is a cheap one. It's a Kozabate one, but it's leather. But the idea was I wasn't sure if I was going to carry a notebook from all the time, but I've been carrying this pretty much. The pen is just a small one. I think it's I can't remember the name of it now, but I think I bought about 10 of them for about £15 off of Amazon. But it's a nice small one. I think you can get refills for it, and I think it takes the small zebra refills. And then I've got a moleskin dot notebook inside. I've been sort of doing some bullet journaling or trying to. And then the other thing that I wouldn't say I've been carrying it every day, but I've been messing about with is a catapult or slingshot from HX Outdoors. I'll be doing a video on that. That should be out soon. But I've had some great fun with this in the garden, shooting at cans and things. And yeah, I think that's all of my carry. And I'm drinking a McEwen's Champion, which is one of my most favorite beers. And yeah, so it's a nice, dark, strong beer. So cheers, everyone that's here. Hopefully you've got some sort of drink. Doesn't need to be alcoholic, but something just to wet your whistle while you're watching the show. So back to the topic of pen knives. So what would we say was our sort of definition of a pen knife? Anybody want to start?
Well, I guess it stems from the days of the old quill pens, doesn't it? When people, had to probably recarve a tip on a pen by hand, and they carried a small knife to do the job. So typically you'd have a knife of this sort of style. I mean, initially I think they were just quill knives that were just single bladed, but it soon changed to adding a larger blade, which was just for more general tasks, and then a slightly smaller blade for cutting the pen quill.
Yeah.
On the old feathers. So I think generically, when we talk about pen knives, this is the kind of knife that people tend to picture when we're talking about a pen knife. Small, two-bladed, folding pocket knife.
Yeah. Would you extend that to a single-bladed knife as well? Then do you think?
I guess you could do, but I think of a similar sort of size, possibly. But I just think most people think of a penknife as being a small two-bladed. But yeah. Size-wise, something, I guess, like that, single-bladed, you could probably think of as being a penknife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And is that your view too, Jonathan?
Yeah, pretty much. And basically, I see it like a lot of pen knives. They have the equal-ended kind of cigar shape to them.
Yeah,
that's also something I see as a pen knife. But there are different ones like this Buck here that have kind of more of a squared-off look. So typically, I picture them with the circular ones, but there are ones that have the squared-off bolsters as well.
That's cool. Have you got some other examples there?
Those are really the only two examples I have of different kinds. I guess the Senator pattern is kind of a different. That's more squared off than the Buck. It's kind of a bigger example of a penknife, maybe.
Yeah, and I guess. What about the difference between a penknife and a pocket knife then? Is a penknife an example of a pocket knife, or do we think a pocket knife is something a bit bigger?
So I see the penknife as a pattern of a pocket knife. Which that might be, I think there's kind of a difference in language as well as you guys over there across the pond, I think. So like over here, we kind of call a jackknife just any kind of knife, where a jackknife is typically like a peanut. But I think you guys use penknife instead of jackknife, where we just use jackknife to describe a pocket knife, where you guys maybe use like penknife.
Yeah. I mean, I think I just use penknife all the time previously, and just for any knife that fits in your pocket, I probably called a penknife.
Okay.
Since I've been hanging out with some of the knife guys, I think I'd probably think of the penknives as being the smaller ones and the pocket knives the larger ones. But I don't know at what point it transitions.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Maybe I've got this sort of like Boca Barlow, which is quite small compared to one of the. It's a bit smaller than the Arthur Wright one, so maybe I think of that as more of a penknife, and this is maybe more of a pocket knife. I don't know, but certainly the smaller ones and the traditional ones like that.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry, Sean, you got something to show there?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, you're looking at, with the Barlows, they're definitely a pocket knife rather than a pen knife.
Hang on, I've lost.
I think, I don't know.
Yeah, there we go.
I think when you're talking about pen knives, they are a smaller pattern. I mean, they can vary in shape. When this one's more of a sleeve board design than a cigar, so it tapers down. Bare end, obviously, on this one, but they, in terms of, there's lots of variation. You can get them with caps, end caps, bolsters. This one's got small, little bolsters. So there was lots of variety.
Yeah. So I think there are some. I think there's a couple of sort of views from people in the chat, which is great. Great to have Zen in the house, and Mrs. C, and Ollie. I just do a couple of shout outs, and was I think I saw Elan somewhere. Good to have Rob here as well, and I think Byron. So good to have you here, Byron. And Griff. And for we mentioned Lynn Slips earlier and Griff's. They both have a shop in the Discord group, so check them out if you haven't seen them already. And if I have missed anybody, please make sure you keep saying stuff in the chat, and then I'll notice at some point. Anyway, back so sort of back to penknives then. If we stick with that sort of more traditional of the two-bladed small knife, have you got some examples of that Jonathan?
Yeah, just of a penknife. Yeah, so we'll start with this one, the Sheffield knife. I can't remember what the maker is, but just a simple stainless steel slim design, just folded over steel, and the blade's held in by pens.
Yeah.
I think with both of these blades, no, we definitely have, this is definitely longer, so this is the main blade, and then that's the pen blade. But I guess a question, would you consider both of these pen blades, or would you consider one a spear since it's the main and then one the pen blade?
Oh geez, I don't know. Sean's more of a knife expert than me. I just hang out with them, just trying to get cool. So Sean, would you say they were both pen blades, or if they're different sizes, or
Sean, can Sean hear us?
Sean a bit. Anyway, I would say they were both pen blades, but
yeah.
I'm sure somebody in the chat.
To be honest with you, I'm sure there is you see the main blade. You can get some that are more of a spear or more of a drop
Mm.
Or, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have this one, but I think it would have been pen blade shaped, but I think it's just been sharpened a lot, so there's not much left.
Yeah.
But that's similar with sort of one different, and I think often the pen blades seem to be quite narrow compared to the tang as well. Any other ones to show, Jonathan?
Yeah, I got this. It's a Richards penknife. This is also a gift from Slipjoint Sawyer. I don't know if I can get the tang stamp to show up or not. It might not show up on the camera. But it's got the... Let me close the other blade so I don't cut myself. It has the... I can barely see it. But yeah, it's got Richards on it, and then like the lamppost
Yeah.
tang stamp on it. This one has some really nice patina on the blade. Yeah, it's got the synthetic handles there. Those jig synthetic handles, and I call that like the Imperial Shield. I don't know what the actual name of it would be. Yeah, just a nice little old antique penknife.
Yeah.
Those are really kind of like the two like true penknives I have. Also have the buck that has that kind of small coping sheepsfoot blade on the other end, and the spear point blade.
Yeah.
It's not really a true penknife, but similar.
Yeah, I think it's that sort of style. So yeah, that's cool. Sean, I think you might have had some internet issues. Are you back now?
I think Sean's frozen.
Ah, hang on.
Okay.
He's gone. Okay, we'll keep an eye on him coming back. Let me just show a couple just while we're waiting. I think I might have shown these last week, but these are the ones
cool.
with the easy open, like really easy with the turning handles, which I think were either for ladies or for men wearing gloves. But and again, it's hard to tell what the original blade shape was for these because they look like they've been sharpened.
Yeah, they've been sharpened quite a bit.
But again, you know, I would consider that a pen knife. And then another one, yeah, the one I just showed. So I think similar, folded over metal, and oh no, actually, this one has a back spring, so it's
oh, okay, so it's not the folded over, okay.
And then I've got a German one as well with sort of fake tortoise shell, and this is Giesen and Forsthoff, I think. Rost Fry. Yeah, it's not. I don't know if that tang stamp's going to show up. I need to find a better way to show these. But I got that at last year's Sharp Show, so it's a nice little.
Yeah, that's a nice
one.
one.
And just seeing, yeah. So I think Woz had a good definition of that. So yeah, I don't think anybody uses seals anymore. Okay, some easy open ones. That's cool. I think we've got Mikey in the house as well, which is great. Good to have you here, Mikey. And so yeah, still waiting for Sean to come back. He hasn't popped up, so we'll keep going. And any other examples of pen knives? Now, would we say that the small Victorinox, would you say that was a pen knife?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because I've always called these a pen knife previously, but but obviously it only has the one blade on it, and then it has other stuff as well.
Right. Well, it's definitely, that is a pen blade on the tool. I've always considered it a multi-tool, but it is, I mean, it's very similar. Like, the only difference being it has, instead of having the two blades, it has a file basically.
Yeah. And I guess the blades aren't coming from opposite sides as they do on some of the other ones.
Right. Well, it's very similar. The classic SD and all the ones that are similar to that, they're similar to, like, have you ever heard of the lobster knife pattern?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very similar to that. So that's what I kind of consider them closer to a lobster pattern.
And then this is a bit bigger. I think this is the Excelsior. If I'm wrong, I'm sure Slippy will put me right. And here's Sean. He's back.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean. You're having hamster problems.
Definitely. Yeah.
So so would you consider a Victorinox either the classic SD or the Excelsior to be a penknife, do you think? Because this is more of the penknife pattern, isn't it? But I've always called these small ones penknives as well.
Technically speaking, I would call the Excelsior a penknife.
Yeah.
Classic SD, not so much. I'll just call that really, it's more like a little multi-tool, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I think sometimes we're kind of splitting hairs a little bit with some of the definitions of some of the differences between the blades, but I don't think it really falls into what is classed as a penknife. Technically.
Yeah. I think in that sort of traditional sense, yeah.
When the classic Victorinox, I've always considered like these are like camp knives basically.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I guess they fall into that broader group, don't they? Any other examples to show us, Sean? I'm sure you've got a few other penknives to show.
I've got quite a few. Yeah, I've got some.
Where are we looking
you up? This one is a tiny one, and it's a Southern and Richardson nest knife. And where are we? Going the wrong way. So we've got coping blade this end and a very small pen blade the other. But this is really nicely made, and it's got the easy open grooves either side.
Yeah.
This little drop sided grooves, brass liners, and for a tiny knife, it's got a great snap. But you know, it's when you look at it, it's
that is tiny, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is very small. So it's probably actually it's smaller than the blade on the Excelsior.
Yeah.
So it's a dinky little thing, but it just goes to show the skill that went into making something like that, because it's a fantastically made little thing.
Yeah.
Another small one, tiny. It's a little. This one's a tailor's eye witness. It's got the. You're not going to see it, I guess, on this camera, but it's got the trademark eye stamp on the bolsters on both blades. Actually, the smallest blade as well.
Yeah.
This one is a George Wolstenholme. This is a nice little one. IXL. The stamp's not great on that. It's not terribly clear.
Yeah.
In off the camera you can read it easier.
Yeah.
Obviously, but it's another one that's nicely made, and it's got those two grooved easy open slots as well.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea, especially when the blades, when they're closed, that they're fairly close to the scale.
Yeah, it seems to be or have been quite a common thing on a lot of the older ones. Because here's another. This is another Wasteland home. This is all steel. Might help if I was looking at what I was doing properly. But that's got the groove there and the groove on the other side as well for ease of opening. But again, great snap on this.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I've got a couple of these. Yeah, there's another one there. It's a bit shinier, this one, but it's the same sort of knife. Where did I put? So this one, again, easy open slots.
Yeah.
These are stainless steel liners, stainless steel liners, but that's the the body of the blade of the knife rather. And this is a Ibison. And I don't know whether you can see on the stamp of this, it's got the violin, which was there.
Okay.
Logo.
Yeah, it's hard to see this.
You're not going to see it, are you?
Yeah.
But again, it's another one that's still got plenty of life left in it.
Yeah.
Interestingly, what was this one? I was trying. Oh, this is another Ibison. Trying to sort them out before we came on. And this has also got the violin. I think it's just on the smaller blade though, which possibly won't show. No, it's not going. You're not going to see it. Are you?
Yeah, it's
again,
not.
it's a nice snap again. Now I must just show this one because this was a gift from Tony Blade in Wales. And he used to get hold of these from one of his local knife shops, and they don't seem to be being made anymore, unfortunately.
Oh,
But they're
It's a shame.
nice little knives, Sheffield made, brass liners. Pretty sure they're synthetic covers on these, but they've got this worked back spring. And Tony said they were very inexpensive, but they're nicely made. They're great little knives.
Yeah.
it's very nice.
And there are so many of this pattern around, aren't there? I think so many variations and so many makers, and it's obviously been around for a long time as well.
Very much so. I mean, I've got loads of them.
Yeah. And are these recent finds, Sean, or have you had these a while?
Some are recent, but some I've had quite a long time. That's the Joseph Rogers. But yeah, that is one thing that you can still find fairly easily.
Yeah.
These styles of pen knives, and usually fairly inexpensively. I mean, you wouldn't want to be paying much for them because we tend to see them from anywhere from sort of £3 or £4 to up to about 10, 12, depending on what they are.
Yeah.
But you can usually get a pretty good example for that sort of money. Anyway,
yeah. Well, I got this IXL for £3.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's
Yeah.
interesting. Let me sorry, I put myself up. If you look, it's got you can see the easy open from the top, but from the side,
Yeah.
it doesn't show up. But it's just enough for you to get your thumbnail in.
Yeah.
And then I was looking on this one, which is a J Howarth.
Oh yeah, Health.
Howarth, yeah.
Yeah, that's a name we know.
And this is I've shown this one before, but I thought this was quite a good crossover from a penknife to a gentleman's knife, in that it's got the two blades, but then what it's also got is a pair of scissors, which obviously you know, a gentleman needs to trim his nails or for other things. I don't know. And it's still quite slim, and well, it looks good. Apart from having SUFC, that's the only thing that ruins it. Hopefully, there aren't any Sheffield fans in the house. But
so Howarth were being made at the same factory as Arthur Wright's, and in fact, it still says Howarth on the door.
right,
The Arthur Wright workshop.
yeah.
So there's a good chance that there's possibly still some of the parts for one of those.
Do Arthur Wright still make this, you know, this sort of pattern at all?
No,
Is it just that there's not much call for it, or it's just I don't know.
Well, the thing is, they tend to have. I mean, there's lots of knives that they used to make that they don't anymore, and you know, at some point they might start bringing some of them back. But the biggest issue they've got, I think, is the sort of shortage of staff there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. It could be Southend United, but I think it's probably more likely to be Sheffield. But you know, that's. Yeah. So any other good good uses of that abbreviation? Yeah. Sorry, Sean.
Yeah, this is, you mentioned the one with scissors. This is a German one.
Yeah.
Now, it did have a name on this, I'm sure. Crucius. Something like that. It's German, obviously.
Yeah.
Zollingen. But it's got the two blades and a pair of scissors, which you kind of, it reminded me of the one you'd shown. And it's got the engine turning as well.
Yeah. But no nail file, so
no nail file on this one, no. But in terms of gentleman's knives, this is quite a nice one. This is a George Wolstenholme.
Yeah.
But it's a split back Whitlow.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
But so you've got your brass liners, you've got your two springs with the main blade being on both springs on this end.
Yeah.
You've then got a small pen blade on the other end. And what looks like another pen blade is actually a nail file with a nail cleaner.
Really?
Ah, okay.
Which I guess would make it more of a gentleman's carry.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your fingers.
Well, that's probably one of the things then. So if we're transitioning from penknives to gentleman's knives, what would your definition of a gentleman's knife be then, Sean? What's different about that compared to your average pocket knife or penknife?
To me, and this is not based on anything that I've any kind of firm evidence for, but personally, for me, a gentleman's knife is something that's a little bit more elegant, possibly something that you might be carrying in a suit or to a special occasion.
Yeah.
So doesn't need to be as robust and as sturdy as just a general pocket knife that you might want to, use hard and not worry about too much. So something a little bit more refined. Again, I guess that leaves it open to a lot of different interpretation.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say that something like this single blade sourbow is a gentleman's knife. Nice blue bone. Very attractive. Quite thin though, so it's not going to kind of be overly noticeable in the pocket if you don't want to ruin the lines of your suit. Which is always something I'm worried about.
That's what I sort of had in mind was something that was probably a little bit more elegant or refined than your average sort of work or farmer's knife, maybe. Although I guess farmers could be gentlemen as well, or ranchers in the US, and maybe something slimmer, so something that would look good if you that you might use for a special occasion or that sort of thing, or maybe for church. I don't know. Do people take knives to church? I don't
do.
I don't know. It's a long time since I've been to church, but yeah. So I was thinking of down the traditional route. I've got a number of Arthur Wright knives, but I didn't really think of those as being gentleman's knives. Not the ones that I've got. Mine are the more sort of basic ones. Generally, I guess my Boker, I would say, would be maybe a gentleman's knife because it's maybe slightly nicer materials, a nice bit of brass, and modern with my Carter, but fairly slim. So and I don't know, maybe maybe this Civivi, I don't know, would that could maybe be a gentleman's knife. It's not too thick. It's getting a bit pointy though. I think probably one that looks like it's got a tactical use, I would say, was probably not a gentleman's knife, or not your average gentleman.
Right.
I'll tell you what, Mark, there's lots of not your average gentleman out there these days.
Yeah, so I don't know. Or I've got this Fernandi as well, which I don't know. Maybe it's almost a gentleman's knife. It's another modern version. I think I like the more traditional one. Jonathan, have you got some examples of what you would call a gentleman's knife?
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, my definition is probably like more premium materials and slimmer profile. But this is the C. Risner Cutlery Kentucky Holler Jack, and it has the abalone in acrylic there.
That's quite blingy, isn't it?
Yep. Something like this is what I consider like a gentleman's knife. Premium materials, just something that looks kind of flashy, maybe, or just something that would pair well with like a suit.
Hang on, I think we've triggered Scott here. He feels called out. I think was that when we were talking about different sorts of gentlemen. Yeah, carry on, Jonathan. Sorry.
But yeah, something like that, just kind of nicer materials, maybe more, just more blingy. Something like the Case Coralline series, or even the Kieranite.
Yeah,
would fit really well. This is a Case Peanut.
Oh, that's cute.
It's kind of something a little bit flashier.
Yeah,
and really a lot of, even like bone and stuff, a lot of traditional knives, unless they're like maybe like Delrin or something, make good gentleman carries. Like just like this one right here, it's just a simple Rough Rider. You got just your nice blade there, nice long blade with a small.
Yeah, see that looks, with the shield on that looks a bit like a gambler's knife, doesn't it?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, like kind of like this is even what I consider like a gentleman's carry, just especially like the colors too, like black and white.
Yeah.
Very kind of dressy.
And that sort of senator pattern, I
Yep.
think.
Yeah.
I think, Byron's saying, I don't think a trapper pattern could be considered a gentleman's knife. I think anything with a spay blade on, you probably wouldn't call a gentleman's knife. So, I knew I should have read it first before I clicked on it, Pete. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Or if not, down the knickers and in their bra, maybe. Yeah. Right. Well, it's nice to know you wear a garter then, Stacey. That's maybe a bit more information than we were expecting. Hang on, here's one from Sean. Come on, let's.
Ooh,
So this is I guess what you'd call or what I would call probably like a gentleman's carry, more traditionally anyway. This is mother of pearl. This is a Needham Brothers Sheffield, so it's an older one. It's got brass liners, but they're coined all the way around both sides. So they've got that coined grooving on. So you've got a larger and a smaller blade. But you've also got on the back this very thin nail cleaning tool with a file. And the file is on the underside. And
interesting.
you can hear that.
Yeah, that's very long, isn't it? It looks more like something you'd clean a pipe out with or something, doesn't it?
It's definitely a nail file and cleaning tool, but yeah. Nice snap on it.
Oh, and Griff thinks that that Jonathan looks like a young Santana. I don't know if that was the look you were going for, Jonathan, but if it was, you've nailed it. So that's good to know. Yeah. What was is asking if that's a pipe cleaner.
No.
Good to have Cheeto in the house as well. Happy Sunday. And EFDM. So cool. And did you have any other ones to show, Jonathan?
Yeah, I got a bunch of these aren't really pen knives, but they're very close. I have a bunch of small Congress knives and half Congresses, actually, two-bladed Congresses. This one's a Camillus. I don't know if you can see the tang stamp. Not really much of a gentleman's knife, but kind of closer to a kind of an offshoot of like a pen knife.
Yeah.
Except it's got the sheepsfoot blade and that sway back design to it.
Oh, it's nice. I like that.
And
it would fit my definition of a pen knife, which is quite broad.
And also have case one, the green apple bone.
Oh no, that's sort of like a ram's foot, isn't it? That it starts off very narrow and
the case small Congress is more of a ram's foot because it's slimmer there and then it tapers off, which is kind of interesting. I have not seen any other company do a Congress like that. And of course, you got the pen blade as well. This was I think this is a, let's see, is it a 23, I believe, because this was the vault pattern of that year.
See, now, I wish the Sheffield makers would have adopted that sort of system so we could date some of them, because it's just about impossible to date the Sheffield ones.
Yeah.
So cool. I'll just show a couple that I've got, and then we'll come back. As we're talking about case, I would call this a gentleman's case because it's small. This is the sway back jack, and I got it. I just like that shape, and that Warncliffe is fantastic. It's a Tony Bowes. The only thing I don't like is the really naff etching on it.
Yeah,
it's not great. And then as well as that, it has the pen as well. But this was new old stock, so it's super well made. None of some of the other issues. You can see the centering on both of those is perfect. But that was my first case, and I just love that. But yeah, so I'd say that was a gentleman's knife.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I'd like us to maybe think about a nice Alox Victorinox. This is the Solo, and I have this in red Alox as well somewhere. But I mean, I would, I think that's quite a good. It's the Alox compared to the Celidor, which is more of an everyday and just a nice single blade, or maybe something smaller, which is a lot closer to the penknife, would be the Alox Bantam, which is another one of my favorites. So you've got a little bit of utility there as well. And see you, Nigel. I think we're past Nigel's bedtime, so that. And then the other one to maybe think about, and this was from a gift from Randy, so it's very special to me. So this is the money clip. So obviously you'd expect a gentleman to have a fair bit of money about him, but it's really like a beefed up classic SD. So it looks like it could be a penknife, but this is a nail cleaner and file, and of course the scissors as well. And I just think that's a great sort of utility as well. And the pocket clip means you could I don't know why they don't do these, because they're a great knife to have. And why have a classic SD when you can have one that's a little bit bigger, but actually in format is hardly, you get bigger blades, but in size it's that difference is next to nothing. So I think that would make a good gentleman's knife, and maybe I wouldn't call the UK PK a gentleman's knife, but maybe the grasshopper could be. I could see that maybe being in a waistcoat pocket. Maybe it's very slicey, so if you want to peel your fruit as a gentleman, maybe this could be. It might be a little bit pointy for a refined gentleman, but anyway, I think that's a really nice one for that. I was just thinking maybe we could do keep, carry, scrap. We've got a nice number of people in the group, and again, I'm always a little bit apprehensive when we come to this because I've had some disasters, but I'm hoping this will fit in well with our theme, and it will give you something, maybe something a little bit different, Jonathan, for this. Okay. So the usual rules: there will be 3 knives, 1 to keep, which you rarely carry, just for special occasions, 1 that's an everyday carry knife, and 1 to scrap, or more likely to give away and send on to somebody else. So let's have a look. And the first one, we've seen something very similar. So this is very much like the Excelsior, but I quite like this one because it's got a clip point as well. So this is a vintage Wenger, the Delamont 85mm, and it's that really nice red Alox. The second one is also a Wenger, and it's the Wenger version of the money clip that I've just shown. So slightly different scissors. I think the scissors are serrated on the Wengers normally as well. So I thought that is sort of like a pen knife, but it's also a bit like a gentleman's knife. And you've probably guessed it. The third one is another Wenger, and I really like the silver Alox as well. But this is a soldier, but it could be a gentleman's soldier as well, maybe. And this is a 1993, so it's got the pen blade, the cap lifter, flathead, and the small flathead, and the can opener, and it's got the fantastic all at the end.
Mhm.
So do you want to talk us through? And if you're in the chat, if you want to play along at home, that would be great. So what's your thinking, Jonathan?
So I really like interesting knives, so I think I'm going to keep the middle one, carry the soldier, and then scrap the what is it, the Delmont? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so scrap, keep, carry.
Scrap, keep, carry. Thanks. Oh, quick decision there as well. Sean, what do you think?
Just on terms of, because I'm obviously going to show us prices for all these afterwards, but I would carry the soldier. That's a good, useful tool. I would agree with Jonathan, actually. I'd keep the pocket clip because of it is something a bit different.
Yeah.
Something I haven't got. And therefore give the Delamont away to, I don't know, who can I give it to? Tony. Why not Tony?
I think Tony would like it. That's a good thing. Mine's a little bit different, but really just because I already have a money clip. So I think, and I really like the clip point. You don't see those very often on Swiss Army knives. So I would keep the Wenger Patriot, that one. I would give away the money clip. So probably to Tony. I don't think he's got a money clip. I don't think so. Have we lost Sean?
What?
Ah, there we go. Yeah, I would. So I would keep the Wenger, scrap the money clip, give it away to Tony or somebody else in the Discord group, and I would carry the soldier. What I'm really looking for is a 1962 soldier, but that's something I'll keep looking for. So just to go to the people in the chat, let's see what we've got. So was is keep, gift, carry. Keep, gift, carry. So that was the same as me. Tiffers was keep, scrap, carry. Ollie was keep the Patriot, carry the soldier, scrap the Esquire. Okay. Joseph is keep, carry, scrap. Ah, interesting. Carry the money clip. Cool. Oh, hi, Scott N. Good to have you here. Mikey was keep, scrap, carry. Scott was carry, keep, scrap. Oh, we're getting a real mixture here. And Byron, he thinks the Esquire is worth the most, but keep, scrap, or gift and carry. Yeah, I mean, you've got to go with what you like. You know, that's the thing. Mario, good to have you here, Mario. Mario, scrap, keep, carry. Stacy is keep the Esquire, carry the soldier. So that's scrap, keep, carry. Right, yeah. And Rob is keep, scrap, carry. Slippy is just having trouble typing, I think. Scrap and keep. And what about the last one? You'll probably customize the last one, I'm guessing. Is that? I don't know. Maybe you missed one. Yeah. Was is saying you've got to feed the hamster, Sean. And Robin's got scrap, keep, carry. Here we go. Slippy's got scrap, keep, carry. Okay, good. So we want to see what the current price is on eBay. Let's have a look. So I was just doing it on the US eBay because the UK eBay doesn't have knife sales. So yeah, so interestingly, the Esquire was the cheaper of these. I'm a little bit surprised by the Wenger Soldier, but you know, this doesn't mean that these are the prices that they'll go for. So interesting. And I thought I'd put Vengers up because I got a couple of Vengers at a fair recently, and whilst there aren't many left around, you can't buy them anymore. You can get them on the secondary market, and I certainly recommend getting them because they're a bit like Victorinox, but a bit different. So anyway, just a bit of fun. So thanks for that. And let me just clear this off. So, gentlemen's knives. Have we got some other examples we'd like to show? Anything else, Jonathan?
Yeah, so got this one right here. This is a 6-bladed Congress with pearl handles. I don't know if I'll pull out all 6 blades at once because it's kind of precarious.
Yeah,
but we'll pull out.
We don't want any blood on screen. It ruins our ratings.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll pull those 2 out like that. And then, all right, so there's the 3 on one end. You have, I'm not sure what blade shape that is.
It's
kind
of
like
a
yeah, it looks like a spade probably. I think you're right. Then we got a sheep's foot coping blade on that side. Then we have a Warncliffe right there. In the middle, we have a spear point, drop point blade.
Yeah.
And it has, let's see, it's American Blade Collectors is what it says on there. Let's see, what's the brand? It's a, is it a Wolstenholme? I don't know if that's how you pronounce that.
IXL, does it say anywhere?
Let's see. No, I don't see. Maybe
it's the trouble with 6 blades. You're not sure which one they're going to put the.
Right, exactly. There's about 3 different blades with tank stamps on this thing. No IXL. Then that's the last blade. It's a clip point. It says made in Japan. So I don't know. I just found this on eBay for a good price, and I wanted a 6-blade Congress, so
yeah, cool.
Picked it up.
I've seen a Taylor's Eyewitness one, the 6-blade one, which was quite expensive for that. So
yeah, I think I paid blades. Sorry, what?
It's a lot of blades to have.
Yeah, I think I got this for like, is it 40 or 50, which is pretty low for a 6-blade Congress, is what I've seen.
Oh, cool.
And we'll do one more Congress. This is the Boker Traditional Series 2.0. Even though it has 4 blades, it's got that black bone, which would I think work really well for a gentleman's carry. It's got your standard 2 sheep's foot blades, pen blade, and coping blade. And this is actually these are D2 blade steel on here, actually. Yeah. And this is a slimline trapper, so it's nice and slim, even though it's just slips into the pocket really nicely, so it makes a really good gentleman's carry.
Oh, that's cool. Sean, have you got some more to show?
So I've got this Swedish. It's an Ika, and this has got 2 sort of pen blades, one slightly larger than the other. But then you've also got a nail file with a nail cleaner tip, and then a flat head screwdriver.
Oh, that's a DIY gentleman's knife then, isn't it?
So yeah,
that's a lot to fit into a very slim format, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is a thin.
That's cool.
Piece, but yeah. So talking of gentlemen's knives rather than pen knives, I guess. I mean, I would say, if you look at this Arthur Wright Senator, I think that would make a nice gentleman's knife. It's still be a capable blade as well. Still be able to get some work done with that.
Yes, but it's you could see it's a bit more than the basic sort of
A little
Barlow.
bit more refined, I guess.
Yeah.
Then, of course, you can always go down the custom route for the Ashley Harrison fans amongst us.
I think you did really well waiting until now in the show to show on Ashley. Actually, I think that's a new record, Sean.
Waiting while the internet was up to the job.
And well worth the wait, because we can see that. And I think that's a great example, because you can get something very similar as a basic model, can't you?
You can, yeah. But that obviously has got the bells and whistles, the upgraded steel, O1 tool steel, and then you've got the filing on the back spring and on the top of the blade. And yeah, obviously very nicely made.
See you, Pete. Thanks for dropping by. Good to see Terry from Terry's Leatherworks. Let me switch you back, Sean. There we go.
Yeah, so another gentleman's carry, or one that would make probably a nice gentleman's carry, is an Ettrick. It's nice and slim. Again, still a capable blade, really, on that.
Yeah.
But
I hadn't thought of that, but it is. I get where you're coming from for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would make quite a good.
Yeah. I think it's got a more refined look about it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
That's cool. Any others, Sean?
Well, good old Joseph Rogers bunny knife. Now, I think these are available in all kinds of different materials, handle materials.
Yeah.
So you could kind of go for something a bit more higher end, like stag or some nice bone. Or even just in a nice piece of oak like this.
Yeah,
they do look quite nice.
So I quite like that. So maybe the more basic versions in the simpler materials would be more of an everyday or a farmer's or a workman's knife. But if you want to upgrade, you get the milling or the back spring worked or nicer.
Well, it's like, I mean, I guess it's like the Premier line on the Taylor's Eyewitness models that are available now. You can get all kinds of fancy handle cover material, and it really does kind of give the knife a bit more bling, let's say, for want of a better word. But
yeah. Good to have Burr Free here, and there's a couple of comments about your I think from Mrs. C. There's a lot. I think she means neat stuff behind you, Sean. So with the internet working better, we can see this. Have you added to that? There looks like there's even more stuff than normal. Have you been working on this?
Well, there's stuff coming and going all the time. My little monkey, little clockwork monkey. It looks like he's doing something. He shouldn't be, isn't he? But
it does look like a rude monkey to me.
Let's leave him there.
And I think Byron said upgrade equals embellishment, and I guess as a gentleman, you want to show that you can afford something that's a little bit nicer, a little bit better. I guess it's a way of showing off your wealth, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I just had one last one to show, which I think everybody's seen, but it was my my birthday knife last year, and I would call this a gentleman's knife, a lion steel. It's in nice materials, single blade, and a bit nicer than the average knife. So that's mine. So any last knives to show, or anything else? Anything else to add?
Yeah, I've got 2 more at least.
Ah, cool. Go on then, Jonathan.
Yeah. So I have the Rosecraft Senator and the sandalwood. I was just kind of thinking, like, the interesting thing about wood is it makes a great kind of dress knife, gentleman's knife, but it also works really well for just kind of a work knife as well. So it kind of does double duty. Like when I think of like a buck, I think of more of like a work knife, and they use wooden handles. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting material that can work in almost any situation.
Yeah.
And then I got kind of one more knife, and then this is from Rough Rider. It is the small, or I think it's called Baby Sunfish. It's from the Stonework series. I think this makes a really neat. This one has a really stiff pull. I actually can't even get the pen blade out on this one. It's kind of a small chubby little knife that some bling with it. Maybe a little heavy for a gentleman's knife, but if you have like a vest pocket,
maybe a bit heavy, but it's certainly got the bling, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm. But like if you have a suit coat or vest pocket, you can drop it in there, and that probably wouldn't be too bad. Yeah.
Oh, I was just Scott N. He's just bought a Farmer Alox. You will not be disappointed with that. That is my favorite Alox, and it does everything. So good choice for that. And it looks like Elan's back in the house, which is always great. And Sean, any last knives to show? Let me just pull you up.
So this is a kind of one I would call a gentleman's penknife, really, because it's it's a Joseph Rogers, and it's in stag, but it's a very attractive little penknife. Something
that's a definite upgrade from the standard one, isn't it?
And it even comes. This actually was a very kind gift from Mikey, but it even comes in a little leather slit, which is quite nice. To keep the lines of your suit pocket in order. I do own a suit, I think, still somewhere.
Jeez, I think I last wore a suit at a funeral, and
yeah, me too, sadly.
Yeah, so I don't want to wear a suit too often. That's so yeah. If anybody's coming late, you can watch this on catch up, or you can just listen to it and just occasionally glance across and look at the knives. So hopefully this works well as a podcast. So any last ones, Sean, or was that it?
Yeah, I've got this one. I'm trying to remember. I think it was it Thomas Turner? I think it's Thomas Turner, this one. So it's quite an unusual one because it's got this embossed covers on it. So you've got, what did it say there? George. So that'll be King George.
Is it George V?
And then you've got Edward, Prince of Wales, on the other side.
Oh, okay.
So you've got like a Warncliffe star blade for the main blade.
Yeah.
And then a pen blade for your secondary. Yeah, Encore. Thomas Turner, yeah, so it's Thomas Turner made. But yeah, just something a little bit different.
It is. I quite like the commemorative ones, and I don't think our recent king had any commemorative knives. I've got one for the Queen's coronation, which I've shown before, but I haven't got out. So I think it's a nice thing to do, isn't it? Anyway, I think thanks, Sean. So hopefully we've shown some nice pen knives and some gentleman's knives. Hopefully we've given you some ideas. I think a lot of them you can buy on the secondary market, either eBay if you're in the US, or flea markets, flea fairs. Are you going to be at the Malvern one next week, Sean?
Don't know at the moment, actually. I don't think that's going to happen. So it's a bit up in the air at the minute.
Okay, I'll catch up with you later because I'll definitely be going to the next one because I had a really good haul from the last one I went to. So and it's only about 40 minutes from me. So yeah, so please check out wherever your secondary market is for older knives, because there are some fantastic pen knives around. And as Sean said, they're not expensive, but you get some really good value, really good quality, some fantastic makers. If you're from the UK, there's a lot of fantastic Sheffield pen knives around. Hopefully a few have made their way across the water as well, and if not, then I'm sure you can find some Buck or maybe some Case, although I guess Case are probably getting a bit expensive now, or maybe Rough Riders. So anyway, so thanks for everybody in the chat for joining in, especially for Keep Carry Scrap, and I'll try and think up something. Now I'm hoping to have Stuart McRae on next week. I'm still sort of courting him and hoping, and Robin Grant the week after. So I want to do a couple of sort of collector's corners episodes where we get people on to show us some of their collection, and of course Sean's always got a lot of knives to show, and I'm quite happy just to look and chat. But please join us next week. We will definitely be here, and have a great week ahead. Take care, everybody, and see you soon. Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Jonathan. Thanks. Bye.
Bye,
Take
everyone.
care, everyone.
Cheers. Bye.